Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final presentation event of the 2021 NC State Social Innovation Fellows. For those I have not yet met, my name is Elizabeth Benefield, and I'm thrilled to kick off this celebration of learning, resilience, and achievement. I am joined by my amazing team, Alicia Bryce, Jack Rattery, Jay Chen, and Craig Prince, who deserve much of the credit for an enormously successful year, even as we faced unprecedented disruption and had the significant task of transforming all of our content into a digital learning experience. First of all, let me offer a word of gratitude to Provost Arden, Dean Jeffrey Braden, and Associate Dean Tom Birkeland for joining us this evening. And I offer a special welcome to my colleagues in the Entrepreneurship Alliance, to faculty, staff, friends and family of our fellows, and to students joining us tonight who've been selected to join next year's cohort. Well, this has been a year like no other. 30 students passionate about making a difference in the world joined the ranks of the 2021 Social Innovation Fellows cohort. For this entire academic year, above and beyond their academic requirements, they were pushed to study problems deeply, to approach their work with compassion and empathy and a strong social justice lens, to practice systems level thinking and question assumptions. They learned repeatedly to ask why before jumping to how. Exceptional social entrepreneurs from across our state joined the fellows at our monthly innovation labs. Raleigh entrepreneur and community builder Crystal Demuse inspired our students to step out of their comfort zones, establishing an early cohort mantra to wear the red pants. Alum Thomas Armstrong pushed the fellows to seek and to share their personal stories of purpose. Renowned filmmaker and documentarian Gareth Gwynn challenged students to tell their stories of growth and resilience. Alum and Red Hat executive Katie Gray Altman urged the students to, in life and in work, unapologetically practice empathy. And Steve Kim and his design colleagues from IBM taught students the importance of stakeholder research and mapping and human-centered design thinking. There were many others, all contributing pro bono time and expertise, with the singular goal of helping our students develop a mindset of curiosity, creativity, and confidence to grow as change leaders. The fellows have learned firsthand that it is okay to not have the answer. What is important is knowing how to find it. Andrew DeMeo, one of our team mentors you'll hear from tonight, describes our work as creating the conditions for students to experience an aha moment. And I think you'll hear about that tonight. I think you'll hear a few of those. At this time, I am most pleased to invite Provost Arden to say a few words. Provost Arden?
Thank you, Elizabeth, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be with you this afternoon, celebrating this milestone of achievement. 30 amazingly diverse and talented fellows, 6 teams of students who, on top of all of their academic demands, have committed countless hours to becoming our next generation of change leaders. These students have shown incredible resilience in what Elizabeth already said is an unprecedented year of challenge and disruption. To learn that all 30 fellows have successfully met the requirements of the program is an astonishing accomplishment, and every student should be congratulated. The NC State Social Innovation Fellows has established itself as campus leader in offering students a powerful learning experience that enables them to dive deeply into complex work of solving our world's greatest challenges. And we need young, passionate change makers now more than ever. As many of you have perhaps heard, the university has just launched its new strategic plan. One goal of the strategic plan is well aligned with the Social Innovation Fellows Program. Goal 6, we have 7 goals, and goal 6, lead in developing innovative partnerships, entrepreneurial thinking, and applied problem solving. Under this goal, the plan goes on to say, At NC State, we recognize that many of society's toughest problems can only be solved through powerful, multidisciplinary partnerships and an entrepreneurial approach. Our partnerships are numerous and varied and include partners in the academic, industry, government, community, and nonprofit sectors. These partnerships are seen right here on campus, as well as across the state and around the world. We will remove barriers and achieve success through an ongoing commitment to innovative partnerships that bring together the brightest minds in industry, government, community, and the academy to creatively tackle great global challenges. Through innovative partnerships, academics and co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities will continue to fuel and elevate NC State's entrepreneurial ecosystem. As I mentioned earlier, the Social Innovation Program fits very well with the strategic priority, offering students a high-impact, hands-on, experiential deep dive into learning the skills necessary to solve society's toughest problems. Earlier this year, the largest independent professional and academic organization in the world dedicated to advancing the discipline of entrepreneurship, the United States Association for Small Business and Entrepreneurship, or USASBE, named NC State Social Innovation Fellows Program as the winner of the 2021 Excellence in Co-Curricular Innovation Award. I am also pleased to announce that NC State will host the National USA SBE Conference in January 2022. Our post-COVID world will require leaders with the very skills you have practiced as fellows: resilience, empathy, creative problem solving, the ability to work in diverse teams, and a creative mindset to understand problems deeply and from a systems perspective. Even as you adapted to an entirely virtual program this year, fellows worked in partnership with faculty researchers, nonprofit leaders, and industry experts, all engaged in addressing the major challenge connected with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, a set of humanitarian and environmental goals to transform our world. Beginning this fall, the university will highlight curricular and co-curricular offerings that align with these goals. NC State believes that all students can be change makers as entrepreneurs, as intrapreneurs, and as engaged citizens. Our university has a growing and robust entrepreneurship ecosystem, earning national recognition and ranking, and the Social Innovation Fellows Program is a great example of how we're teaching our student entrepreneurs to both do well and do good. With that, Elizabeth, I'll turn it back to you to introduce our student presenters.
Thank you so much, Provost Arden, and we're really delighted you're here tonight to hear about the students' learning journey and their project work. So you all are here tonight to hear from the students, so I am really excited to kick off the presentations. The way it'll work is every team has a team mentor and a venture partner. The team mentor will introduce the team briefly. The team will offer their presentation, which will be brief. And then we invite the venture partner to also say a few brief words. So first up is Team All We Are. And I'm really delighted to introduce the team mentor, Jane Rogers.
Good evening, everyone. Staff asked me to talk about my mentoring experience and feelings after completing this year, my fourth engaged with SIF. As usual, I consulted with my team and found again the inspiration for moving forward. Some of the words I use are theirs too. Getting to know everyone was wonderful, although it was only through viewing a computer screen. I loved and cried over the passion and commitment the students demonstrated while we built our own small community centered around All We Are as our venture partner. Indeed, we fell in love with AWA's problems and diligently worked to fully understand them while learning and living with the uncertainty of discovery about the work and ourselves. We all learned that real sustainability, whether environmental, human, social, economic, personal, is not only necessary, but also lives inside of each of us. As a result, all of us are now searching for ways to incorporate social impact into our lives and careers. We have all become more confident in ourselves and our ideas while learning the value of persistence and resilience and the strength that these characteristics bring at any age. In reflection, it has been a year of challenging growth where we have learned effective, holistic, and sustainable ways to give back to our community amidst the isolation of the pandemic. Our working closely with our venture partner has been a great way to direct our minds constructively and work for the greater good. We all hope that our work with All We Are has formed a solid foundation for future SIF teams and for AWA to build and improve upon for its benefit and the impact of its stakeholders. Clearly, SIF, Team AWA, the All We Are organization, and I have benefited from our partnership and our mentoring. Thank you. Emma, will you start us off?
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma Wilson, a sophomore in wildlife science, ecological engineering, and plant biology.
I'm Kaya Pothireddy, a sophomore in economics.
Hi there, I'm Maddie Hornsby, a senior in the Poole College of Management.
Hi, I'm Monica, a sophomore in computer science.
Hi, I'm Sierra, a junior in political science.
And I'm Simran. I'm doing my PhD in electrical engineering, and we will begin with our reflections.
Hi, everyone. I'm Emma Wilson. Being a social innovation fellow has been immensely inspiring. This experience has shown our capacity as people to engage and build community despite working in a virtual environment. I discovered I get great fulfillment when my work includes a variety of tasks, fields, and approaches. The discover phase helped me to be comfortable with uncertainty and illustrated the importance of exploring and understanding the problem. I am now working to understand how that fall in love with the problem mindset can be applied to other challenges as I continue my social innovation journey to better our world. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Kaya Pothireddy. I've loved working with All We Are and my SIF team over the past year. My biggest takeaway from this experience has been the importance of preparation. My team spent the first half of this year learning as much as we could about All We Are, including meeting their team, reading through every page of their website, and doing our own research on the side. This has been the longest I've ever spent researching a problem before fully jumping in, and I've learned the value of knowing as much as you can before framing solutions. Overall, my experience has been wonderful, and it's definitely shaped me into a better person, leader, and team member. Thank you.
Hi, I'm grateful for my experience working as a social innovation fellow this year. I've always wanted to use my intellectual capabilities and passions for social good, and I knew immediately that SIF is where I could make a difference as a student while learning about creating sustainable and resilient solutions for complex social issues. I've got to work with an incredible group of teammates this year who are passionate and intelligent, and I've learned so much from them, All We Are, and the broader network of teachers and mentors SIF has provided for me. They've all cultivated for me a deeper sense of gratitude and purpose, and I'm so excited to apply what I've learned in my community and communities abroad.
My journey this year with All We Are has been challenging but life-giving. Previously, I was the type of person who had an idea and immediately wanted to implement a practical. However, this year has taught me how to thoroughly think through every possible pathway while being open-minded to change. For example, we began this journey with data analytics in mind and are ending this journey with an impact report. Learning how to adapt has been vital to this year's success. I personally want to thank every person on our team along with All We Are, for this learning experience and all the hard work that has went into this project. Thank you.
I'm Simran Singh. I had always wanted to give back to the community, and SIF showed me how. It equipped me with the thought process to convert my intentions into concrete actions for achieving real social impact. My biggest takeaway is the realization that each of us has a unique gift to offer to the world. So don't be afraid to sing the melody which you hear in your own mind. Uganda is fortunate to be endowed with the world's second largest population under the age of 14 years. To utilize their potential, a reliable education is essential. All We Are addresses a gap in Uganda's educational infrastructure, which is a lack of electricity and lighting. All We Are installs solar panels in schools in Uganda, which power LED light bulbs. They discovered that All We Are needed help in communicating its impact to stakeholders and in attracting funds for scaling up its operation.
We explored the problem by attending the organization's international quarterly all-member meetings, where we heard updates from both the US team and the Ugandan team. We also had conversations with AWA team members, volunteers, and donors. We sought to learn why they chose to get involved, their hopes for the nonprofit's future, and to gain a stronger understanding of AWA operations.
Because All We Are hasn't fully leveraged data visualization techniques, we sought to use data from solar installations, student performance, and Ugandan demographics to display AWA's overall impact. One avenue to pursue was GIS mapping, which uses maps, satellite images, overlaid with metrics to show impact over time. The other was an impact report to show the breadth and depth of AWA impact in recent years. However, we learned that GIS systems can take months to develop and many more to perfect. Because we didn't have extensive access to data, it would be even harder to produce. This past February, AWA shifted its focus to concentrate on strengthening its awareness and increasing funds. Thus, we decided to produce an impact report.
To determine what to include, we read other nonprofit reports and obtained a list of contacts from All We Are. We interviewed AWA volunteers and donors as stakeholders, asking them what they wanted to know. We compiled what we learned and made an outline for an impact report, making sure to include popular themes from the interviews.
We created this report to show the impact All We Are has on communities in Uganda. We include its mission statement, and the report illustrates All We Are's diversity and provides a letter from the CEO. To illustrate the necessity of their work, we provide information on Uganda's educational and energy infrastructure, including school attendance and access to the national electric grid. The report discusses their work using quantitative metrics of success. Donors suggested including financial information, so we added a section about income and allocation of funds. We combined data visualization with storytelling and added testimonials from students and schools. We also outline All We Are's upcoming plans, ways to stay updated, and a call to action for readers to get involved.
Thank you to all social innovation staff. A warm hug and thank you to our team mentor, Jane Rogers, who has been phenomenal help and integral to our process. Thank you to All We Are for not only providing learning opportunities, but also allowing us to help create meaningful change. And last but not least, thank you to our senior mentor, Maddie.
Thank you, team All We Are. Well done. I can't wait to see the impact report in its entirety. That's really impressive. I'd like to ask if Nathan Thomas, who is the founder and CEO of All We Are, would like to say just a couple words.
I would. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. And let me start by just saying thank you to the entire SIF staff that has made this such an incredible experience for our organization. Thank you to our incredible team that we're sad to see leave and that we've just had such a pleasure working with this year. And also a huge thank you to Jane, who has been an important part of the process in developing what we've done this year, but has become an important part in our lives. Thank you so much to all of you. I wanted to reflect on what Provost Arden said about us seeking young change makers and needing them today. And this was really a position we were in as an organization when Elizabeth and I first connected. We're an organization of young change makers ourselves and needed additional synergies, partnerships to grow what we're doing. And so to find a group that is just so capable and so passionate about work in a similar way to us has really been such a treat, and has created a lot of impact for our organization. These students are thoughtful, they're professional, and like Manasa said, connected by a passion for social good and that impact. And, we worked amidst COVID issues, as all the teams did. I think Jane and I were speaking on the phone last week, and we couldn't believe that we've never met in person. When we meet in person, it's hugs, not handshakes, right? And so it's been that type of experience. On top of that, Uganda had an election in February that made the work that we were conducting on the ground really quite difficult. And the team has been just so responsive, but flexible in the work we're doing. This isn't a 2 or 3 page impact report. This is a 25-page impact report. We've just been thoroughly impressed with the work of the team, not as interns or as college students working with us, but as equal partners in the work. So once again, thank you to our team. Thank you to Jane, and thank you to Elizabeth and the staff for really giving us this opportunity to work with you. And we're looking forward to future years of partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nathan, for your leadership. We look forward to your continuing on as a venture partner next year. Next up, we have Team NC Compost Facility. And I'd like to introduce the team mentor, Raj Narayan.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Raj Narayan, and I serve as the Associate Director of the Keenan Institute for Engineering, Technology, and Science at NC State. And along with my colleague Tara Spivey, we're grateful to be your partner in support of the Social Innovation Fellows Program. The beauty of the SIF program is it gives us all a wonderful place to develop and hone our leadership skills. And this year was no exception. The privilege of being a mentor in this program is we learn as much as everyone else. And I'd like to share a few reflections on leadership which were inspired by our team. Effective leadership is disciplined, consistent, and inclusive of all voices. It seeks to empower others without judgment, but carries the team forward collectively. Thank you, Julia and Sky, for your steadiness, organization, diligence, and mindfulness this year. You provided the foundation for success. Effective leadership inspires creative thinking out of the box. Thank you, Stephanie, for your creative perspectives and enabling us to find artistic inspiration in our work. Effective leadership enables a collective voice that can amplify the value of the work being done. Thank you, Eden, for always bringing this collective voice to our team. It was good to have the NC State women's soccer team goalie on our team, who always had the full view of the playing field. Effective leadership requires a high level of emotional intelligence and intuition. Thank you to the senior fellow Haley for being the conscience of our team and providing us perspective in our work. And to quote Haley in kicking off the semester, the best version of me is just as much about my effect on the world around me as it is about my own self-image. Effective leadership invites diversity in thoughts and experiences to enable those breakthroughs that might otherwise go untapped. Thank you, Tara, for helping us find those aha moments in our work. And lastly, effective leadership enables authentic collaboration. Thank you to our venture partners, Adam and Matt, for always being present and engaged in this work. And thank you to all of the SIF team, mentors, fellows, and venture partners for making this such a great year despite the challenges. This has been a wonderful year working with you, and I look forward to continuing to do so in the future. And with that, I'm pleased to introduce the Compost Facility Social Innovation Fellows team.
Hi, everyone. I'm the Senior Fellow Haley Hall, a recent graduate of Environmental Sciences with a focus in law and policy, and an alumni of the Social Innovation Fellows program itself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julia O'Brien. I'm a senior fellow, or no, I'm a senior studying chemical engineering and Spanish.
Hi, my name is Sky Pham. I'm a sophomore and I'm studying sustainable materials and technology.
Hi, I'm Eden. I'm a sophomore studying textile engineering.
So first, we're going to start off with some of our personal reflections.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia O'Brien, and my main takeaway from this experience is that not every problem can be solved with a technical solution, nor should be solved with a technical solution. I remember the first time our team went to go visit the compost facility last fall, and we got to see all the equipment and the contamination firsthand, and my brain, with my engineering background, immediately thought about what piece of equipment can we design that helps manage the contamination and helps sort contamination from the final product. I immediately thought about the technical solution. But once going through all the different mapping exercises that SIF had designed, I quickly found out that this would not be the best approach, and it also ignored the larger issue at hand. So SIF really taught me to shift the way that I think about problems. It taught me to think broadly about the systems that I'm a part of, why the problem exists in the first place, and then be a change maker from there.
Hi, my name is Sky, and I think the biggest lesson that I'll take away from this experience is the importance of patience. I didn't really know what to expect going into the program, but I thought that the process would be much more straightforward and linear than it actually ended up being. Through many iterations of our project, stakeholder conversations, and team meetings, it often felt like we kept on going in circles and just couldn't land anywhere. Learning to be okay with the uncertainty of it all was definitely difficult, but I think it showed me that making slow shifts in the direction of your objectives is more impactful than rushing just to get to the end.
Hi, my name is Eden. Before this program, I think I would have touted myself a pretty creative problem solver. What I lacked an understanding of is that not every problem is achieved the night before it's due. There's definitely some creativity needed to pull off an all-nighter for a class project, but it doesn't show the care and resolve a long-term, well-advised, well-assessed project would. SIF taught me how to slow a moment down and creatively assess how this doesn't just affect me, but everyone around me. For the compost team in particular, I saw how plastic waste affected the well-being of our campus, and I became invigorated with a sense of well-doing, not only for this project, but to include the practice of composting in my daily life. I asked my roommates to get a compost bin, I had talks with my friends and teammates about the ins and outs of composting, and their issues with waste sorting. The most surprising part was everyone was as interested in it as me, and they didn't have a project to lean back on. My main takeaway from this was you just need passion to get you started on the path to problem solving, and the SIF program provides the tools to culminate an end product, whether it's resolving yourself or a resolution to the problem. Thank you.
Unfortunately, Stephanie's unable to join us this evening due to personal circumstances, but I'll be presenting some of her reflections in her absence. Stephanie first became interested in waste reduction after a previous visit to the compost facility. So when she joined our team, she was extremely excited to work with a venture partner and dive deeper into this important issue. This year's obstacles proved to be more challenging than she had imagined, but she's impressed with the commitment and resiliency her team has demonstrated in their work. She was excited to have met so many wonderful members of the community as they designed their solution this year. Stephanie says, "My team members deserve all the credit in the world for this presentation. They truly devoted themselves in seeing this through. I wish I could be with them, but I can say I walked out of this even more informed and inspired to address contamination at NC State.
Great, so now moving into our project. When you look at this photo, what do you spy? I know in my opinion, I can spy a Starbucks cup, a Howling Cow cup, and a plastic spoon. So this photo is an example of a typical load of diverted waste that the NC State compost facility receives. And as you can see, it's full of contamination. Tackling this issue of contamination served as our project's main focus. The first step our team took was starting our discovery phase. So this consisted of a really iterative process of team meetings, venture partner conversations, and connections with stakeholders. So just to call on one example, one of the first things we learned about is that compost contamination has many different sources. It can come from both consumers at the front of the house or employees that work in dining, considered the back of the house. And to really define our target stakeholder, our team had to decide between these two target audiences. So we had a conversation with our venture partner, and they were able to connect us with different people on campus who worked in dining. So from that, we had one of our first stakeholder conversations with a man named Keith Smith, who is focused on sustainability in dining, and he provided us with some key insights. He said that freshman students are required to have a meal plan, so they spend most of their time dining in dining halls and tally. Consumers are the ones that control the waste stream and therefore should be targeted. Back of house contamination could be effectively managed with proper education of staff, and that the university is much more responsive when students share a collective voice to push forward initiatives. Just to select our target stakeholder as the front of the house, specifically freshman students, with which Sky will elaborate on.
Through our research and conversations, we were able to develop our stakeholder map. And after reflecting on it, it allowed us to see how interconnected different groups were. It also showed us how the issue of contamination was a university-wide issue, but it still allowed us to pinpoint the main groups that were being impacted the most by poor waste management. And while our stakeholder map showed us how large-scale our problem compost contamination is at NC State, we slowly began to realize that addressing the NC State community as a whole would not be as impactful as focusing on a smaller target audience. This caused us to shift our what multiple times throughout the course of the spring semester. But after considering all the potential options and weighing in conversations we had with our stakeholders and venture partner, we decided to narrow in on our focus on first-year students living on campus at NC State.
By choosing first-year students as our target audience, we were able to outline specific educational strategies that could influence generations of students. By proposing a mandatory reporter training, we're presenting waste diversion as a community standard and providing the groundwork for students to be confident in their understanding of waste sorting. Additionally, we saw great value in our primary and secondary research, as well as our stakeholder engagement. And as future teams and campus groups work on this issue, we're happy to present a comprehensive report detailing the intricacies of the players, context, efforts, and pain points that we've discovered throughout this process.
We discovered that each part of systems thinking isn't a standalone piece, rather it's an interconnected model where each main component is connected to another that then branches out to cover various bases of our system. It summarizes all the ideas that we had and how integrated everything is. Compared to last semester, we had a very linear approach where if this one thing happens, then this other thing must come next. The work we've done this semester helped us establish our own spoke and hub model, where it's evident that each part can influence another. This leads us to our next steps. We've enlisted the help of various sponsors, including our own venture partners, NC State Dining and NC State Waste Reduction and Recycling, to create a bill for student government to review. Our goal is to address behavioral change in first-year students living on campus with a compulsory reporter training about the importance of waste sorting and composting. If our bill is enacted, we have the potential to achieve an effective closed-loop compost management system at NC State. Thank you to my fellow team members, Julia, Sky, Stephanie, our senior fellow Haley, our team mentors, Raj and Tara, our venture partners, Matt and Adam, our stakeholders, and the SIF staff.
Thank you, Team Compost. Really great work. And you have the ear of the provost and a dean and an associate dean, and maybe that bill will get some attention. I'd like to ask if Adam Bensley or Matt Ball would like to say a few words.
Yeah, thanks, Elizabeth. I want to thank all the group members for all the work that they put into this project over the last year. We've never had any person, let alone a group of exceptional students, analyze the problem of compost contamination so deeply and thoroughly. All year long, I've been very impressed with the strategic thinking and planning that went on within the group. Through their investigations, they realized that there was no silver bullet that was going to fix the problem with contamination, and they began looking at the issue using a multi-pronged approach. They engaged a lot of important stakeholders, which provided them with tremendously useful insight. Although the specific direction of the project seemed a little uncertain after the winter break, the group persevered, leaned back into the work they had done in the first few months, and finished with very strong results. Although it will take additional time to implement their plan, I have complete confidence the legwork that they've done will pay off tremendously, and I look forward to seeing the fruits of their labor really take hold next year. The work they've done will benefit the compost facility and the university as a whole for many years to come. So Julia, Sky, Eden, Stephanie, thank you all so much. Haley, Tara, and Raj, thank you all for your leadership. I'm blown away. I'm beyond impressed. And I just have so much confidence in this group. And I really can't wait to see where things go. So thank you all again.
Thank you so much, Adam and Team Compost Facility. Nice work. Next up, we have Team NCC Grant, and our team mentor is Brian Spate.
Good evening, everybody. So I am Brian Spade, and I've had the pleasure to introduce the team that I mentored, which is the NCC Grant team. When I was kind of thinking about how to sum up this crazy, hard, unexpected whirlwind of a year, I did what I often do, and I go look to past leaders for words of wisdom. I look at people like that are CEOs and billionaires and past presidents, and I always look for that fitting quote. And it turns out, oddly enough, I found exactly what I needed in the words of LL Cool J, which I thought were fitting for the year's ups and downs. And he said, when adversity strikes, that's when you have to be the most calm. Take a step back, stay strong, stay grounded, and press on. And I thought that was pretty simply put for what this team did time and time again during the course of the year. And I'm proud of their work, but probably I'm more proud of how they worked together through the truly beautiful elations of finding a direction, and then the utter disappointments of being forced for one reason or another to change directions multiple times. But without pain, there is very little learning, and even less aha moments, as Elizabeth was talking about earlier. But this team learned just how hard good work can be. And with that, I'd like to introduce the SIF NCC Grant team, starting with Aman.
Hi everyone, my name is Aman Kumar. I'm a second year graduate student in industrial engineering.
Hi, my name is Erin Cohn, and I'm a sophomore studying environmental science.
Hi, I'm Grace Saunders, and I'm studying business.
Hello everyone, my name is Don Jack. My name is Marissa Thomas, and I'm majoring in environmental science.
Didn't know if Miriam was on. Miriam was a senior fellow, and we also had Vanessa, who was with us in the fall but was unable to finish in the spring, and we sure missed her, and we got her to give her reflections of her history in the team's fall semester in a video. So she's included in our videos.
Hi, my name is Aman Kumar. I am part of NCC grant team. My experience being a social innovation fellow has been amazing, although it consisted of many twists and turns, but I'm glad to share that I've enjoyed the process thoroughly. I understood the importance of knowing all stakeholders involved. When there are many stakeholders involved, especially the government agencies, it sometimes becomes difficult to figure out who is responsible for what. Sometimes people respond, and sometimes they don't. And those who don't create disappointment. The solution lies in constantly reaching out to people by making a chain from one to another. When we think about a problem statement by keeping ourselves in the shoes of others and have vision with empathy in mind, it really makes a difference in one's thought process. Talking to my fellow members and knowing their perspectives, thoughts, and ideas was always fruitful. One thing that constantly stuck in my mind was the goal of creating something that could contribute in combating the water pollution. This has been a phenomenal experience working on something that I would have never done, being an industrial engineer in an entirely different domain. I have learned that skills are really transferable. We can use a learning of any domain and how that can be used to implementing in any area of work. I can use this experience to encourage others to do their part for the sustainable future. After my PhD, I'm going to work on my own projects that could impact a large number of people through social projects. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Erin, and my journey with Social Innovation Fellows has consisted of a series of aha moments, which was arguably the most difficult part of this project. My team and I would come up with an idea and we would build momentum off that idea, and then something would come up that we just didn't think about. However, our mini pivots taught me just how big of an issue water pollution is. So even though my team couldn't solve the whole problem necessarily, at least we could get the ball rolling. Something that SIF has solidified for my career aspirations is wanting to feel the community around me, because being in a situation with such diverse yet like-minded individuals has truly been inspiring this year. Everyone has encouraged me to continue doing good in the world, and seeing all of the fellows' dedication has let us experience social change together.
Hi, I'm Grace Saunders. I'm part of the NCC grant team. Going into Social Innovation Fellows, I thought I had a pretty general idea of how one would solve some of the world's largest issues in a creative and innovative way. But through SIF, I found that the important work of solving some of these social issues can be really frustrating, and you can't do it alone. Through this experience, my team and I got to meet some individuals that are dedicating their lives and their work to the large issue of water pollution. Each person we met with and learned from is making a meaningful contribution to something way bigger than themselves. And going into this experience, my team and I had large ambitions and really large expectations, but we learned that you don't have to solve all of the problems in the world in one day to still make a meaningful impact. Through this experience, we pivoted, we ran with ideas, we ran into roadblocks, we had to ask for direction, we felt conflicted, we got confused, we didn't do everything perfectly, but we learned and we grew, and I think that reflects social innovation as a whole.
Hello and good afternoon. I am Marissa Thomas, team member on the NCC grant team. Being a part of SIF, prior to it, I didn't know what to expect. I just knew that I wanted to be a part of a project that would enable me to work on a real world issue. And being a part of the team allowed me to do just that. As a future water specialist working on marine debris was perfect. I don't think there could have been a better project for me personally to work on. So water pollution is a very real issue, and it requires many professionals from many different fields in order to make real progress, and being a part of the team has made me realize that. And although my experience was very much trial and error with the team, it just reaffirmed my passions for water science, and I'm just thankful and happy to be a part of the solution of this very large water issue that is at hand.
Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa Merritt, and I worked with the NCC grant SIF team in the fall. One of the aspects that drew me to the Social Innovation Fellows was the focus on the problem, because without fully comprehending a problem in all of its facets, a true solution cannot be found. My teammates come from different places and have different interests, and that was one of the most enjoyable parts about this experience for me. I loved getting to know my teammates, even though it was through Zoom, and we each understood our problem differently due to our diverse experiences. Though I was unable to continue to work with the team in the spring, I valued my time with them as we worked through this challenge together. After graduating in December 2021, I plan to work in international conservation. My experience with the Social Innovation Fellows will help me face other challenging socio-environmental problems with a team, because now I have more practice incorporating different perspectives in problem-solving scenarios.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all so much for coming. Again, we are Team NCC Grant. Since 1970, North Carolina Sea Grant has been a great resource to stakeholders to communicate scientifically sound information about the state's coastal ecosystems. They provide research, education, and outreach opportunities relating to current issues affecting the North Carolina coast and its communities. So our initial research for this project was inspired by the UN Sustainability Goal entitled Life Below Water, which aims to conserve and sustainably use the ocean, sea, and other marine resources. Our goal is to provide the foundation for a project that strategically reduces the amount of marine debris and its impact in North Carolina. With our project, we plan to attend to Sea Grant's mission by using citizen science to educate the community on water pollution through an app called Marine Debris Tracker. If you've never heard of citizen science before, it's basically just when the general community collaborates with scientific researchers to contribute to data collection, but more detail will be explained about this in a later slide. So trash at any point from its creation to after its disposal could become marine debris, which is why we want to educate people about the harm debris causes when it contaminates our waterways. About 2 million metric tons of plastic enters the ocean each year, which does not include other forms of debris or the amount quantified in freshwater systems. And more than half of the world's plastics were created in the past 15 years. So at our current rate, by 2050, the weight of plastic in the ocean will be greater than the collective weight of fish. Plastics and most other marine debris do not break down, leaving it for aquatic life to ingest or become entangled. And as the debris is ingested, it has the ability to travel through the food web or become a detriment to human health. So it's not just the ecosystem that is impacted by marine debris, it's us too. And our resources are not unlimited, so investing in a sustainable method of improving the current condition of marine debris in waterways is crucial to the health of us and our oceans.
We wanted to take part of our presentation to reflect on how far we came and all of the different things that we went through as a team and things that we focused on. So one of the most impactful things we learned as a team throughout SIF was learning how to pivot. Throughout our time identifying problems and talking about solutions, we would follow one idea, set up a meeting, talk with people, do research, and then come into a barrier or come together and find a new idea that we thought we could create a better deliverable for. So this graphic highlights some of the pivots we went through and how it ultimately led to our deliverable. We talked through the possibilities of sampling water for micro and macroplastics, using AI to detect plastic debris, using cameras to track plastics, changing policy, and collecting data to use to influence policy. All of these pivots that we went through taught us something new and ultimately shaped our journey and brought us to our final deliverable.
Since Grace talked about the pivots, after a lot of pivots, we came to the conclusion that we should be using an app that can help us track the water pollutants with the help of citizen scientists. So this app is called Marine Debris Tracker, and this is a global app which is available both on Android as well as the iOS. This app is meant to be used by anyone going out on a trip or for a leisure walk to a nearby trail. And if anyone finds any pollutant, they can simply report it through this app. Through this presentation, we urge you all to become a citizen scientist by adding information about pollutants in any nearby water body. It is said, if we can't measure, we can't improve, and having the debris information can help in organizing cleanups. This work towards adding a custom list of innovation fellows is specifically made for tracking litter in water bodies in NC. We decided not to develop a new app since it is time-taking requires expertise and continuous maintenance. Moreover, having multiple apps or having similar app which solves the purpose to distribute the important data. We shall be looking at the tutorial on how exactly we can use this app and contribute towards the pollutant information. So this is one user interface of Android of this marine debris tracker app. We can simply go to this app and then create an account or do the quick tracking. So we won't be preferring quick tracking since that is a global data and that consisted of inland as well as the waterways. So after creating an account, we can just log in and we can see that there is a dashboard which can help us in knowing what exactly we have tracked so far. We can click on select an organization and searching for NC State SIF. So this SIF is basically meant for all the water bodies in NC. So once we click there, it will prompt you to just go to continue. So it might be a bit possible that this iOS version will have just the SF logo. So we can just go and just look into that. So while searching, while adding the information, we can just click on any plus option to report any water pollutant, which is plastic or anything that we can find, and then we can just add. And then we can click on this manage items option on the bottom left, and then it will show the geolocation as well as all the information that has been collected. So since if there is an error in reporting any of the information, then we can just simply click on cross, and then it will give us this prompt to delete this item. And then we can continue reporting this. Once done, we can just click on continue, and going to this final dashboard, we can see that it gives us a final information about what exactly has been collected in this session, how distance we have traveled, and how much time it took. And then once done on this upload session, it will give us the final information of our last session that was done. I'll pass on to Marisa to share the theory of change.
So our social impact, or our overall goal, is to help educate fellow North Carolinians about water pollution present in our waterways, and also to contribute to the progress needed that will ultimately make our waters cleaner. Our social value will include spreading awareness of water pollution in North Carolina, while also spreading awareness of the Marine Debris Tracker app, which our organization is now a member of. Our work will also be open for future SIF fellows to partake in and utilize if this project serves their interests. In terms of our outputs, our main output is to document data collected through the app that will help us identify types of marine debris in our waterways. Our activities include updating and monitoring our organization's data, which includes active trackers and a number of items tracked annually. Our data can also be utilized to organize debris cleanups to actively reduce litter that ends up in our waterways. In terms of our resources, we have a couple. In terms of the human resources, in particular, there's a couple networks and collaborations that we've made throughout the project, such as Coastal Resources and Community Specialist Gloria Putnam, a research engineer, Catherine Youngblood. In terms of our technological resources, we have the Marine Debris Tracker app that is going to assist in data collection, and also NC state organizations that will aid in the organization of cleanups. We would like to thank the SIS staff, our venture partners, Dr. Susan White and Dr. John Fear. We would like to thank the networks that we've made throughout our project, including Dr. Barbara Dahl, Gloria Putnam, and Catherine Youngblood. And of course, we would also like to thank our wonderful audience. Thank you all for listening to us tonight.
Great job, Team NCC Grant. I love all of the pivots that you made, and then to still have such a robust deliverable is really impressive. Great work. I think I saw Susan White. I'm not sure if John Fear is here, but I invite either one of them to make a few remarks.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. This is amazing. The work that has been accomplished in the semesters where this team has gotten together, and those pivots that provide such challenges, provide such opportunity. And all along the way, I was just super impressed with how the students were able to use the information that they've gained at each of those pivot points and make that next step. And I really think that's an important piece. These students provided such grace over the course of a very difficult year. I think that is not to be underappreciated here, the flexibility that they brought to the team. So, the problem of water pollution is enormous. It is one of these wicked challenges that have so many pieces. And to pick off little pieces is so impressive over the course of 2 semesters. And they've made great progress. And I look forward to continuing to work with them in their future roles in the world. And look forward to continuing with the SIF program over time. It was very impressive. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Susan, and your colleague, John, for your leadership. And we look forward to continuing our work with you as well. Next up, we have Team People First Provisions, and our team mentor is Jamal Poulin.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I want to talk a little bit about People First Tourism. The team started out expecting to work on People First Tourism, which is an entity focusing on global tourism experience. But with the pandemic, what was one of the first industries to be severely impacted by the pandemic was travel and tourism, right? So P1T had an extension in their group that focused on P1 provisions, People First provisions. And they worked closely with local farmers in Eastern North Carolina, and they provided locally grown produce to vacationers on the North Carolina coast. So fortunately, that was an opportunity for the team, but it did take, kind of refocusing, resetting, and getting their feet planted on that. And I want to commend them on that. That was a difficult process. They worked through it and really focused on it. Also want to really congratulate the team. I thought they were really supportive of each other throughout the year. It was a tough year to, pick up and have to move and a lot of other things going on. And it was, a lot of supportive back and forth between the team and in between meetings and picking up for one another when other folks couldn't make it. I'd also like to make sure I recognized Meghna. She was the senior fellow and did a great job in that role. And from here, I will turn it over to the team for their introductions.
Thank you, Jamal. I really appreciate it. And I'm truly honored to be starting out here presenting the first slide of our presentation, as we've had like an incredible year of learning, of growing, and working together as a team. And before we get into what we've done since our midterm presentation and what we'd like to conclude as our recommendations to People First Provision, I'd like to play a short video kind of introducing everyone in our team so you can get to know us a little bit better.
Hello, my name is Jada Wyatt, and I'm a sophomore in business administration with a concentration in marketing. My biggest takeaway from my social innovation fellowship is small changes can make a big difference. And I'm going to pass the mic to Cedric.
Hey, my name is Cedric Clyburn. I'm a sophomore in computer science, and my biggest takeaway as a social innovation fellow for this year is that sometimes doing calculated research, interviews, and surveys instead of diving headfirst into a solution can be much more beneficial in the long run. I'll pass the mic to Meg.
Hey, I'm Meg. I'm a junior in sociology and science, technology, and society. My biggest takeaway from the Social Innovations Fellowship has been the importance of collaboration and teamwork. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Anna Grace.
Hi, my name is Anna Grace, and I'm a junior in Parks, Recreation, and Tourism Management. And my biggest takeaway from the Social Innovation Fellowship is discovering that although the process of social entrepreneurship is complex, if you're able to dedicate yourself to the problem and understanding that in its entirety and just really trusting in this crazy and exciting journey that you're on, then the path to the solution that you're looking for, it will eventually make itself clear, even if at the time it does not feel like that at all. So that's been really amazing to learn about. Now I'm going to pass the mic to Danica.
Hi, my name is Danica Uzinga, and I am a senior studying international studies with a concentration in global relations, and I'm also minoring in sociology and business administration. My biggest takeaway from SIF is learning how to collaborate with a group towards the common goal, and also understanding the importance and utilizing the tools and opportunities which SIF has given us in order to move forward with future entrepreneurship ventures. My group and I just wanted to thank Elizabeth, Alicia, and everyone else who was involved in our process for this project, and we're very thankful for the opportunity.
Awesome, that was great. And now, in addition to our fellows, Danica, Jada, Anna Grace, myself, and Meg, we've got our incredible senior mentor, Megana Subramaniam. We've got our great project mentor, Jamal Pullen, and a tireless Duarte Moraes, who's helped us along this year-long journey. And without further ado, I'd love to pass it to Jada.
Awesome. Thank you, Cedric. Okay, so to just further recap on P1P, as you recall, P1P offers locally grown produce to vacationers along the North Carolina coast. With a large majority of proceeds directly given to the farmers, this socially conscious venture pledges support on multiple levels. Their products are imbued with meaning and goodwill. In every action within this company, the voices of farmers are heavily considered. And then looking at our discovery phase, this is a combination of what we were working on last semester and then how we continued that throughout this semester. Initially, we began to familiarize ourselves with the company and then deepen our understanding and empathy. We wanted to understand the priorities of the business and then reflect on our newfound knowledge and assess how our skills and talents can be of best use. Then so at the end of last semester, we left off with imagining ease of communication between stakeholders of P1P, including farmers and travelers. So this semester, we've been working on continued gaining understanding perspectives of this through interviewing farmers.
Throughout the year, our group has had to overcome many challenges, one of the biggest being COVID-19. This was significant to our group in that it completely shifted the role that we had first assumed we would take with this venture, from working with People First Tourism to focusing specifically on People First provisions. Additionally, many of our project plans at the beginning required that we would meet in person, such as visiting the farmers, but that ended up not being a viable option for our group, which brought about its own challenges. Another challenge that we faced was reconciling our goals and learning how to manage expectations between our venture partner and ourselves and eventually find a middle ground. Finally, our group struggled to understand our progress in comparison to other groups, often feeling like we were either behind or working too far ahead, which led to difficulties with pacing, accountability, and consistency within our group. The main problem that our group was able to identify with People First provisions all seem to relate to the fact that they are a young company who's looking to expand. Therefore, they face challenges in communication, efficiency, resources, and consistency. Examples of these common themes in P1P include P1P's limited funding and their lack of centralized marketing efforts. I'm going to pass it over to Cedric now.
Thank you so much. And I think we believe that the most direct way to face People First Provisions' core issue is simply by working with what drives their business model. For P1P, this means elevating and giving a platform for their partner farmers to have a voice. Obviously, for People First Provisions, the farmers and the guest are essentially what the core of the business is and why everyone associated with it does what they do. In addition, People First Tourism's manifesto directly highlights how there's a need for strong relationships between both the guest and the local community, thus creating a greater need for such a mission. Looking at the current business model, People First Provisions elevates partnerships with organizations like ABC2 and also facilitates the sort of meetups with farmers called Farm Fresh Morning Coffee Chats, virtually bringing together farmers from all over the region to connect, network, and learn from each other on Zoom. Now, working with Duarte and People First Tourism, we had the ability to get an insider perspective on these farmers and their operations, formulating a marketing strategy and resources for directly connecting these farmers' voices to conscious customers who care. In addition, we've developed various recommendations for People First Tourism to consider as they continue on the journey from this point on. Now, firstly, taking a look at the theory of change, we essentially had two main goals that we wanted to hope to accomplish in these past few months since our midterm presentation. And firstly, we can take a look at the farmer-centered sign, where our main goal was addressing this form of communication gap between farmers and the travelers who visit these coastal areas. So the current business model of People First Provisions has an opportunity actually to address some of these marketing issues, and our team took advantage of this to firstly organize interviews with local farmers to develop an effective marketing campaign on social media platforms. Secondly, on the lower side, regarding the traveler and the guest-centered side, we realized that improved communication with travelers about produce bag refunding process was a need for People First Provisions. Thus, our solution was to somehow provide this information through an informative and engaging process, which we soon discovered was video animation. Our team went ahead and created a script, narrated it, and developed a video animation to successfully highlight some of the main concerns that People First Provisions had for its guest relations. Now, the best way to measure some of these paths of success come from the ways that we've got metrics recorded thus far. This includes the incredible interviews with local farmers over Zoom, the planned social media calendar that highlights what People First Provisions is and their farmers, and the animation that we made explaining their policy for non-refundable produce. This, in parallel with our theory of change map, helps us accomplish the goal of elevating farmers' voices based on the People First manifesto.
And then, as Cedric mentioned, after considering our options and how we could best help provisions, our group decided to focus also on a social media campaign. We found that by focusing on gaining the organization a larger social media presence, we would not only be able to boost sales, but also allow for provisions to provide further understanding for their consumers and the organization structure. Moving forward, our social media campaign will focus on introducing farmers, engaging consumers through recipes and graphics of possible produce being included in their packages, and just overall acknowledging and allowing them to interact with not only the farmers, but the provisions itself. It is important to also note that these steps that we've taken through our 5-month plan of the social media campaign will be continued throughout the next year with the next cohort. And then this is also an example of one of the infographics, recipes, and events that we'll be including with our social media campaign through Instagram and other social media platforms. And then lastly, we just wanted to touch on further recommendations or future recommendations that we have for P1T. And our group just wanted to address these. Firstly, we believe that marketing to the consumer directly would be a little more beneficial and effective than using local realty as a primary source of information. Additionally, if P1T considers to expand or sell their company, we believe that using Crunch-based services or partnering with our university's entrepreneurship program would provide the best opportunities possible. And then partnering with more clubs and organizations on campus, such as fraternities and sororities, would allow for P1T to gain a larger presence on campus. And lastly, we believe that reconsidering delivery options such as Grubhub or Uber Eats would allow for further expansion of the organization. And then we just wanted to say thank you. Our group is extremely thankful for everyone involved in P1T and those who gave us the opportunity to work within the Social Innovation Fellowship. This was such a crucial learning experience for our development, and I know each and every one of our group members has grown from this. Special thanks to Duarte, Elizabeth, and Alicia for the guidance they provided this semester. Our group was truly able to succeed because of you guys. And thank you to everyone watching. We hope you enjoyed our presentation.
Thank you so much, Team People First Tourism and Provisions. That was a tough year because you had to really make a significant pivot early on and reset. And you all did such a phenomenal job doing that. And a shout out to Duarte because I know that this enterprise was selected as one of the award winners in NC State's entrepreneurship competition. And I congratulate you. So Duarte, do you have a few words for us?
Yes, hello everybody. It's great to be a venture partner of this wonderful program. And it's been a privilege to spend this semester with these wonderful groups and with Jamal. It definitely was noticeable, that some days I was struggling to be at our periodic meetings, and other days I had a lot of energy and some of you were down. And so we sensed each other's ups and downs, but we've come out in the end with really good things moving forward. And I just want to make a couple of highlights. The idea of creating an animation came up soon. It was kind of maybe a shiny skill that some of the group members had, and we have used those before to explain what we do. And what we do is a little bit different, so we often resort to videos and stuff to try to explain ourselves. And in particular, we wanted people to, when they buy these produce, to feel like they're partnering with the farmers, not just buying something on Amazon. And so whenever there's COVID issues that beaches would close, or there was a hurricane last summer, there would be cancellations. And we know that those cancellations, the refunds to people, would be really detrimental to farmers. So last year we asked vacationers if they would be okay with it. We would not refund, and we would donate the bags to a local family in need. And for the most part, people were okay with that. They were excited about it, but we were trying to be more proactive moving forward, and they came up with a really cool animation. But the key is that we sat in a meeting debating the narrative of this animation together as we were discussing the situation. And then they came back with a rough cut, and I shared it with our team, both from the company and from NC State Extension, and with some farmers. And then I collected that feedback and I gave it back, and they're polishing that animation. So it's a true kind of back and forth and organic process, that it's not just kind of get something done and that's it. And that's the nature of this kind of change-making work, I think. The other thing about the social media campaign is that the purpose was to make farmers more visible, so people don't feel like they're just buying a bag, but rather they are interacting with farmers. And so I just saw the structure in this presentation. I'm really, really excited. And initially the proposal from this team was to make it all automatic, have it pre-scheduled and just head out. And we felt a little bit nervous about that, because imagine if there's a hurricane coming up and people are still getting messages as if everything is going on. So instead, then we would like to use somebody in our team, but as it was mentioned, we are a very small company. So we have interns that do not invest themselves like you did in these issues. So we have a wonderful path ahead of us this summer, because we have an excited intern that doesn't know almost anything about People First provisions, but she's going to have all of this material in a timely manner, ready, and all she'll have to do is to post it at the right time with a little bit of supervision. So this is immensely productive for us. We'll look like a big company now because you've helped us get there. And the very final point I wanted to make is that I looked at your threads of emails to try to talk to farmers, and I blind copied you on my emails to them saying, please see these students. And they are busy people, and the county partners are busy, but you were part of the experience of trying to do change making. We can't do it from our armchairs in our offices, and we can't expect people in the community to just make time for us. It's work, to deserve their time and to be funny and to be engaging and to finally cajole them to come to a Zoom meeting and talk to us so that we can think about it and do something about it. So you walked the walk in this experience. I was a witness of that. So thank you for all this.
Thank you so much, Duarte. I look forward to continuing work with you as well. Okay, we're getting near the end. We have just 2 teams left, and the next team up is Team Episcopal Farm Ministry, and the team mentor is Miles Wright.
Hello, everybody. I guess it's been 4 years that I've had the privilege to be part of this program, and every single year I kind of conclude that it can't get much better. And every year, fortunately, I'm wrong. As much as I would like to pull out my favorite LL Cool J quote, Brian already beat me to that. But I have to say our team this year has been remarkable. We came into this COVID year full of trepidation about the challenges. In my own mind, I was figuring and trying to calculate how much less than this experience would be, how much harder, because at the core, SIF is about collaboration. It's about relationship. and having essentially two-dimensional virtual relationships was going to make it harder. And the reality is that Austin and Caroline and Holly and Jenny and Zachary and our senior fellow Olivia were just nothing short of amazing. To the point where I was probably not really needed all that much, if I'm honest about it. I would check in, and this is, one of the things we like to say in this program is you've got to fall in love with the problem. And this year, the problem was COVID. And we took the problem and actually, as you're about to hear, made it core part of our project. And so like everybody else, this team had to iterate and pivot on different things. But the steadiness and the leadership that I saw in all these individuals was as good as I've ever seen, to be quite honest. I have to say, our company has got an internship program with another university, and just the quality of student that I see coming through SIF year after year is unmatched in anything that I see. So with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to our team and let them share with you their journey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Zachary, and as Miles said, we're the SIF team working with Episcopal Farm Workers Ministry.
Hi, everyone. I'm Austin Dunlow. I'm a senior studying political science.
I'm Jenny Gosney. I'm a senior studying civil engineering.
I'm Caroline McMillan. I'm a junior studying science, technology, and society, as well as sociology.
I'm Zachary. I'm a senior double majoring in computer science and math.
Holly Newman, and I'm a senior in mechanical engineering.
And I'm Olivia Merritt, and I'm a senior in natural resources.
So I'm going to go ahead and start our presentation, but first, this is a note about what Miles was saying. This is a picture from when we first met each other in person just last week. So we've had all the success as a team, but we hadn't met yet. So when we last left off in November, we had done a lot of work in the discover phase, like our empathy mapping, as well as our stakeholder mapping, which you can see on the screen. One of the things that we noticed with our stakeholder mapping was a lot of those missed connections with farm workers and farmers, as well as policymakers and consumers. I think originally when we started this semester, we wanted to find a project, but we were so overwhelmed with all of these missed connections that we didn't really know what to do. So in order to do that, we had the privilege of speaking with some really incredible people from all of these organizations that you see on the screen. It led us to have a lot of awesome Zoom meetings and a lot of virtual conversations to really drive our project. I think when we thought about what could move the needle for farm workers, as Miles mentioned, we saw that one of the things that is really relevant right now is COVID. So that led us to pivot from our original idea to a new idea of COVID-based solutions.
So with this pivot, like Jenny is discussing, we wanted to move our needle onto an educational campaign focused on COVID-19 and vaccine distribution to migrant and seasonal farm workers. Through our empathy and stakeholder mapping, we learned a lot about the large periods of medical mistrust, as well as fear and hesitancy from the farm worker community to the medical community in general, which is only exacerbated during the COVID-19 pandemic. We found that we would have greater success if we were able to go through our campaign and our work together if we approached it from a point of empathy. And therefore, we wanted to come at the project from a place of friendship and learning to respect the individuals that we were seeking to help, rather than as strangers who are coming from an outside English-speaking background who have completely different experiences on an everyday life basis than farm workers. So we wanted to create a product that was wearable and also had the potential to spread the message of COVID-19 vaccine use and getting that vaccine past our base audience so that it could go out into a larger community to unify members of the farm worker community, their families, and members who are closest to them.
Yeah, so we wanted to create a product that was a conversation starter. So the front of our shirt, which is on the left side, has an emotional appeal that says, a little pinch for me because I could lose, and then there's a blank. And the blank is intended for the wearer to fill in something personal that they could possibly lose if they were to not get vaccinated or lose someone to COVID. And so we also wanted to create an intergenerational component. So the back of the shirt has printed COVID facts about the virus and the vaccine. And we wanted that to be for people who were less technologically savvy. But on the sleeve, there is a Band-Aid with a QR code on it for younger, more technologically savvy people to get information that will be talked about a little bit later. So we also created 3 separate stickers designs. These are 2 of them. The translations are below, but these were to basically spread the message further past the shirts so that we could have more reach. So we've ordered 150 shirts currently and 450 stickers. So we want this reach to go a lot further than what the shirts actually can. And then our 3rd sticker design, which is on this slide, has a QR code on it. If you're interested in the information on it, there is a QR code there that you can scan, but like it says there, it says, I learned about the vaccine today. And it's for people who may still be slightly hesitant to get the vaccine. We wanted them to still feel included and to feel as if they had been educated and cared about. So we created this sticker and it has the QR code on it, which links to a link tree with Spanish resources about the vaccine and the virus, as well as a quiz that reinforces the information on the back of the shirt. And the people who take the quiz will be entered into a raffle for some of the extra products that we have left over.
And through NIE at EFWM, we were able to meet with this lovely group of promotores, and there's a group of respected elders that kind of serve as the link between EFWM and the farm worker community. And they gave us a lot of great feedback on our designs for our shirts and our stickers. And so we plan on working with them and EFWM to distribute our shirts and stickers. And here's a list of all the people we were able to meet and talk to and work with throughout this past year. And we want to thank them and acknowledge them.
So one big takeaway for me from this past year of being part of SIF has definitely been falling in love with the problem and not the solution. That's something that doesn't come naturally to me, just because I feel like throughout my life, and especially in my engineering classes, we're very solution focused, basically finding a solution as quickly as possible. Whereas in this program, we were taught to focus on the problem first and to thoroughly investigate that problem and figure out what a community we're trying to serve actually needs, rather than making assumptions about what they need and building a solution based on those assumptions. So yeah, I think that's a big takeaway for me from this past year. And I just want to say how grateful I am to have been part of this program. And I'm so thankful to all the amazing people I was able to meet and work with throughout this past year.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I would say that the most impactful and memorable moment of my time with the Social Innovation Fellows this past year has to be during a period of time that my team likes to call our pivot point. And this is when we came back from winter semester and we decided to completely change the scope of our project to deal with an educational campaign for COVID-19 vaccines for seasonal migrant farm workers. And something that I'll just never forget about that period of time is when we were trying to make the decision about completely scrapping all the work that we had done and starting over again from the beginning. Our team mentor, Miles Wright, said to us, you know, there's not many people in the Social Innovation Fellows that get the chance to save lives. And so I think that that really stuck with me and always will, because I was given a very unique opportunity by the Social Innovation Fellows in which I am able to better the world around me while still being not completely an adult yet, which is not something that a lot of people really get the chance to do before they're graduated college with a degree and have a lot of, backing to their name. So I feel really grateful to have been able to participate in something like this and to have had this opportunity.
My biggest takeaway from the Social Innovation Fellows program this year was learning how to pivot. As some of the other people have talked about, we had a major pivot halfway through where we completely abandoned like half of what we did for an entire semester. And it was really stressful for me because I'm the kind of person that if I've started it one way, I'm gonna push it through until it comes out the way I wanted it, or it's not gonna happen. And it was really interesting to me to watch our process as we pivoted, because we came back with more renewed ideas and interests, and we made up all of our work in a month's time that we had spent an entire semester on. And I can't imagine what we would have done if we had started the semester off like that. And I just really learned that changing direction isn't failure, it's making it better. And I think that was probably one of my favorite things that I've taken away from this program.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach. The SIF program has been a really unique experience for me. I think partially because throughout this year I sort of saw myself become more of a leader. I took more of like an organizing, administrative sort of role on my team, and just trying to like stay on top of things and reaching out to people we were contacting. And I was really nervous about doing that at first because I was like, oh no, like these people are not gonna like my emails. But like just putting myself out there gradually over time, it got to be something that was like easier for me to do. And I was really glad I was able to do that and have this experience, because it's been really meaningful to me. And I'm really thankful for it. And I love my team.
I originally joined Social Innovation Fellows to work on a people-centered project as opposed to a technical project like what I'm doing in a lot of my classes. I think over the course of the entire year, that's the thing that stands out most from the program is the people I've met along the way. Mainly, I want to give a huge shout out to my team. I think we worked in an amazing way together. Even though we never really met in person, we were able to get so much done, and I really enjoyed working with all of them. But above that, I think it was amazing to be able to hear from farm workers and hear some of the perspectives and see how our project can actually have an impact. That's something that moving forward in my career in engineering, I think I need to keep in mind, is focusing on like how projects actually impact people and how I can greater impact people in a positive way. And I think through that, like learning things like empathy is something that's really important moving forward and something I'll take with me for the rest of my life.
That was really outstanding, team Episcopal Farm Ministry. And I know how you struggled partway through the year and how you regrouped and made such progress is fantastic. Congratulations. You were stewarded by Laritza Garzon and Juan Carbanyan, and I think that we have a representative, Anais, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly, to here with us. Would you like to say a couple words?
Yes, my name is Anai, and I am here representing Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry, and I really enjoyed meeting the team and working with this project with them and helping them put the information that the community will be able to read and understand. I thought it was a wonderful idea that they decided to take community members into consideration because our farm workers are often underserved in the community, yet they do the most work for the entire community. So this is a really wonderful project, especially because COVID-19 affected them disproportionately. So just a friendly reminder, when you see the high meat prices these days, it's because COVID-19 drastically affected the meat processing plant workers, the farm workers in those communities. And these type of shirts are going to do things that provide a basic necessity that they honestly most of the time cannot afford, as well as information on how to get vaccinated and help get out of this pandemic. It was a wonderful project. Thank you.
Thank you, Anai. And I love the QDR code on the Band-Aids and all the ways that hopefully the farm workers will really benefit from in terms of access and education. Okay, we are at almost to the end here. We have our final team, A Place at the Table, and the team mentor is Andrew DeMeo.
Wow, what an amazing set of presentations, and just a big thank you to Elizabeth and the whole SIF team and everyone that supports this incredible experience for all of us. I gotta say, this was a big credit to the students. This year when this program started, I personally got called to serve the national response to COVID-19 by working with the National Institute of Health on our national testing program. Meanwhile, A Place at the Table, a restaurant, had to shut down. And it was really hard for our partner to be there for us when trying to keep a restaurant open. And our senior fellow, Michael Bowen, got a new job. And so we were all there for him, but not as much as we could have been. And Madeline, Felicity, Gio, Leah, and Pradhan, just such a huge credit to these students for sticking with it through these challenges. I know everyone faced incredible challenges this year. I think the thing that really stood out to me, what I witnessed this year more than ever, was that the seeds that we sow today blossom tomorrow. I mean, it's really rare in higher education to personally witness the growth of students beyond a classroom. You're lucky to get a letter saying thank you down the road. Maybe you see something in social media, or you meet a student and they're dressed up and they're professional and you're like, wow, look at how much progress you've made. But to personally witness and see that growth is something that the SIF program creates. I mean, we have new fellows every year, but then we have senior fellows, and we see the growth that they've made over the course of the year. And then every year there's guest speakers that were fellows before that, and you see them too, and maybe even become colleagues with them. And so you're literally witnessing their growth in real time, and it's just unbelievable. And I mean, one of the highlights that I had this year was when our senior fellow joined the meeting, Michael, and he said, hey, I implemented one of the things that I learned at my job. And he was so excited, and he told us the story, and it was just like, yeah, it's paying off now. Or another time where I was seeking to make a connection with a Fortune 500 company and trying to figure out how I could get a connection. And what I found out was there was a former SIF who was a guest speaker who I saw and got to meet and help make that connection. Witnessing that kind of growth in real time is just unprecedented in education. And this is just an unbelievable program. And with this year being such a challenging year, and the students that are the fellows this year, to Madeline, Felicity, Gio, Leah, Pradhan, and to all of you on all the teams, my message for you is this: today is not the end of SIF, but the beginning of a journey as a social change maker. And I look forward to seeing the changes you make in the world tomorrow. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to the team, A Place at the Table.
Hi, I'm Maddie Schneider, and I'm a sophomore studying business entrepreneurship.
Hi, I'm Leah Edwards, and I am a junior studying sustainable materials and technology.
Hey, I'm Felicity Hoppus, and I'm a junior studying business administration with a concentration in marketing.
Hi, I'm Gino Achani, and I'm an industrial and systems engineering major.
Hello, I'm Pradhan. I'm a junior in computer science.
So before we start our presentation, we'd like to play our personal impact statements.
As a fellow, I was able to focus on the Raleigh community and how I could help address food insecurity within it. This experience has been challenging, and I will forever value the lessons I learned and the friends I made through Social Innovation Fellows. Being a fellow not only encouraged me to be a change maker, but also allowed me to connect with valuable contacts within my career field. Through an opportunity presented in one of our monthly labs, I was able to secure an internship with one of Chapel Hill's top marketing agencies, Rivers Agency. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time as a fellow, and I look forward to returning as a senior fellow for the 2021-2022 cohort.
Hi, my name is Leia Edwards, and this year being a fellow and working with the Place at the Table has taught me two important things. One being the importance of effective communication. Meeting via Zoom has been very difficult and an adjustment that almost everybody has had to make due to COVID. There's a personal detachment there when everything you do is online. My group was able to meet outside the fellowship and establish a bond between one another. This made communicating so much easier, effective, and much more enjoyable. The second thing that I learned is the severity of food insecurity here on NC State's campus. 1 in 4 students face food insecurity and wonder where their next meal is coming from. That's why I'm happy and very grateful to say that I was working with the Place at the Table, who is working to solve this problem.
When I applied to be a Social Innovation Fellow last year, I had no idea the challenges that 2020 would bring. The start of the semester was a big adjustment, transitioning to online classes. With 2 of our members in different time zones, we had to learn how to be flexible, resilient, and communicate quickly. This year, I learned some practical skills such as stakeholder mapping, empathetic thinking, and how to lead an action meeting. We also learned as a team that we needed to stop waiting for permission to take action and waiting to be told exactly what steps to take, and instead to discover on our own what course of action we wanted to follow and what path we wanted to pursue in our learning. This was a huge learning experience for me, and I'm so grateful for Social Innovation Fellows.
Hi, my name is Shirva Chani, and as a fellow this year, I have learned so much as a change maker as well as personally. Some of these things include approaching a problem holistically, being okay with the vagueness, articulating a problem on our own rather than someone assigning it to us, leading the project on our own when there is no one to hold us accountable, coming up with a good solution because in real life there are no right answers. We just have to trust ourselves. I have also learned so much from my team members, and I cherish the bond we share. Working on the projects was challenging and we faced many roadblocks, but our perseverance pushed us to keep exploring more ways to create change, and I'm grateful to our mentors who helped us along the way.
Hey everyone, I'm Pradhan, and one thing that I've taken away from being a part of SIF is that, you know, even when you're shot down or even when things really don't go out in your favor, it's important to stay motivated. And, you know, with everything that we've gone through in the last 1 year being a part of this team, I feel like that's the biggest thing I've learned, and I'm so grateful for learning how to cope with, you know, being demotivated and, you know, jumping right back up into being productive and helping reach the goal that we initially agreed upon.
When we began in the fall, forming relationships with one another and our venture partner was difficult. Meeting over Zoom was impersonal, and it was hard to get to know each other. We struggled to meet every week because of people in different time zones and scheduling conflicts. Trying to define our problem without automatically formulating solutions was really new to us and something we had to learn to change our thinking on. We focused initially on the relationship between a Place at the Table and the Raleigh community as a whole, and how they were staying afloat despite having to give away hundreds of meals every day. Our meetings with Maggie and Emily went from asking lots and lots of questions to trying to discover where we might fit into their solution. Our Zoom meetings turned into visiting a Place at the Table, eventually meeting in person with each other and getting comfortable enough to discuss our strengths and how our different experiences and interests could work together to tackle the issue of food insecurity.
For a while, we struggled to come up with what we considered innovative ideas. Our senior fellow and mentor reminded us that even small steps are important, and we didn't have to come up with a huge project in order to make an impact. We had a brainstorming session where we came up with as many unique ideas as we could. After about 30 minutes, we voted on the top 5 ideas to explore individually. We spent time creating pitches for each of our project ideas to later present to Maggie and Emily. After hearing Maggie's feedback, we agreed that tabling and tally would best benefit a Place at the Table.
So halfway through the second semester, we shifted our focus to a Place at the Table to serve as an off-campus resource for food insecure students. Food insecurity is a complex issue, so turning towards the Wolfpack community seemed like the most reasonable and most manageable response that we could think of. So as we combed through the NC State's website, we discovered that the statistics we had on food insecurity and homelessness were outdated. The latest research we found was from 2017. So because of this, we began to reach out to other on-campus organizations, including Feed the Pack, Campus Enterprises, and NC State Dining, with an attempt to find updated information. So 2 weeks after reaching out to these organizations, we were finally put in contact with Dr. Mary E. Haskett, professor of psychology at NC State.
Dr. Haskett's 2020 research gave us the answers we were looking for, but we weren't expecting what we found while reading the 29-page paper. Dr. Haskett and John Doris concluded that 15% of students in our own community have experienced homelessness since the pandemic began. In 2017, only 9.6% of the students had experienced homelessness. Nearly 25% of NC State students have experienced food insecurity in a 30-day period, a huge jump from the 14% statistic reported in 2017. Read that again, every 4 students, there's a likely chance that one of those students don't have consistent access to food. The study goes on to discuss the lack of cheerful and calm feelings in students during the COVID-19 pandemic, and these feelings are intensified with food insecure or homeless students. The numbers in Dr. Haskett's research jumped by a staggering amount. We initially predicted that there would be a subtle increase of about 2 to 3%. With this in mind, our next step was deciding on how to raise awareness on campus.
Based on Dr. Haskett's research, we knew that students needed to know about a place at the table. A large majority of students we talked to had never even heard of a place at the table, nor were they aware it was an off-campus resource. Our tabling project was missing the why, and Dr. Haskett's research gave us the push we needed. We designed an info card and coupons for free cinnamon rolls, Pop-Tarts, and lattes. We plan to use our micro-investment as a cover for the baked goods. We hope that the coupons would both incentivize students to learn more about a place at the table and make visiting students become returning customers. A place at the table, the info card design was targeted towards both food secure and insecure students, so those who needed a place at the table's information could obtain it discreetly. Unfortunately, due to tax laws, we were unable to purchase the coupons or table at tally. With little time left, we decided to conduct a small social media campaign by creating and sharing informative graphics. We reached out to a few NC State organizations and asked them to share a graphic on their Instagram stories. In addition, each of our team members posted the graphic series. From our insights, we estimated that around 1,200 people saw the graphics and 225 accounts visited a Place at the Table's Instagram page. Throughout this process, we were made aware of our privilege. Most of us have our basic needs met, and we tend to forget that even people within the wolf pack are less fortunate than us. Learning, critical thinking, and career searching is impossible when basic necessities such as food, water, and shelter are unavailable. Addressing food insecurity and homelessness on campus requires an empathetic mind, something that our team has consistently developed throughout the past 2 semesters. Maggie and her team consist of people who are genuine change makers that bring a selfless perspective to the Raleigh community. Although we couldn't report the success of an innovative project, we can report that we will be donating $200.21 to a Place at the Table, fundraised by our team members, our friends, and family. This donation will hopefully assist a Place at the Table in continuing to feed the Raleigh community with meals. We'd like to thank the Social Innovation Fellows, A Place at the Table, our team leaders, Dr. Mary E. Haskett and John Doris, for their continued support over the past year.
That's fantastic. And that's the first that I've heard that you've all collected resources to contribute to the organization. That's really amazing. And I hear empathy all through that presentation, and I love that. I see that Maggie Kane is here to speak on behalf of A Place at the Table. Maggie?
Yes, thank you, Elizabeth. Really appreciate it. We love our group. Thank you. Thanks for all the hard work y'all have done and for just joining our team and doing your research and being a part of it and coming to eat with us and just advocating for us. It's made such a difference. So thank you. Saddened that we couldn't have done the tabling event, but that is okay. We will do it in the future. We would still love if everyone on this call could come and eat with us. Free cinnamon rolls for life. So please, just when you come in, say, Maggie said I get a free cinnamon roll. they will give you one. But we really do. We see those stats that y'all listed and did the research on, and we want to be a part of that. We don't want anyone on campus, whether it's staff or students, to go hungry. So please join us. Please spread it to your friends and family. But thank you to the group, and thank you for your just hard work this year. Y'all have been amazing. We've loved working with you. Emily, our manager of volunteer engagement, so the person who manages so many volunteers in this organization, is not on this tonight, but she has also, she would say everything I said and is grateful for y'all. We'd love for y'all to come meet with us, come volunteer with us. It's a really fun place. So thank you for the work y'all have done, and thanks for being a part of it. And again, free cinema rolls for life.
Wow, that's quite an offer.
and I mean it. Elizabeth, you know I mean it.
I know you mean it. I might be the first in line, but thank you, Maggie, so much. We are right on schedule to conclude on time, and I know our heads are spinning a bit from all of that. Let me, before I close for the night, let me now invite Dean Jeffrey Braden to offer a few remarks.
Thank you, Elizabeth. First, let me start off by echoing Provost Arden's comments about how the Social Innovation Fellows represent the best of NC State through interdisciplinary collaboration and extends and enhances our excellence and reputation in entrepreneurship. I'm so proud that the College of Humanities and Social Sciences is home to the Social Entrepreneurship Program and Elizabeth's leadership of the program and of SIF. The presentations by the team demonstrate how NC State brings disciplines together to promote social good, whether that focus is local, such as the Compost facility, a place at the table, statewide, the Sea Grant, People First Provisions, Episcopal Farm Worker Ministry, or international, all we are. However, I'm an educational psychologist, so I can't help but also note the impact of the SIF on its own fellows. I heard in every personal reflection how you've changed, grown, and learned as a result of what us educational psychologists call deep learning. You had to take what you knew from your areas of expertise and apply that to a real-world challenge. That act requires you not to simply regurgitate prior learning, like you might do on a test, but to actually construct something new, to create a response to a real-world problem. Deep learning is effortful, risky, and value-driven. Its outcomes cannot be predetermined. They must be constructed by the learner, by you, to produce something that is meaningful, that is valuable to you and valuable to others in the community. You, your teams, your challenges, and your proposed solutions demonstrate the best in deep learning and the best of NC State. I'm so proud of every fellow, their mentors, senior fellows, and our partners in truly bringing to life NC State's motto, to think and do. The opportunities and challenges provided by the SIF program, our partners, and our team mentors will forever change the lives of each of our fellows. I thank you, but more importantly, I hope you recognize and appreciate how you are changing us through your engagement with our students. Congratulations to the teams, the partners, the SIF program, and most of all to the fellows. You truly embody the best of NC State. Go Pack.
Thank you so much, Dean Braden, and for all your many years of support as we launched this program and made it an anchor at the college. It has really meant a lot. I'd be remiss if I didn't extend my gratitude to so many incredible people who work so hard to make this program happen, literally providing hundreds of hours of mentoring support. Our team mentors, our venture partners, our senior fellows, our lab speakers, all of whom provided their time and expertise at no expense to the program or the university. I also want to thank the college for continuing support of our program and our new administrative home at the Office of Research and Engagement, led by Tom Berklin. I want to give a shout out to our Social Innovation Entrepreneurship Strategic Advisors, Claire Jordan, Jane Rogers, Andrew DeMayo, and Kristen Replogle. And a special thanks to Ginger Saul and Seth Barnard for your donor support and support in so many other ways. We really could not do this program without all of you. So thank you. And finally, congratulations again to our 2021 cohort of NC State Social Innovation Fellows. It looks like Jack has put up contact information. We want you to stay connected. Remember what team mentor Raj Narayan always says, once a fellow, always a fellow. So please know that your Changemaker journey is just beginning, not ending, and each of you will always be a valued member of this community. So congratulations again. Hope to see many of you at our drive-by celebration event on Friday between 10 and 1 in the parking lot outside of HQ Centennial. And congratulations again. Good night, everybody.